Hello guys, we are back. So we're just gonna jump right into this. So last time we read about Odin, so I was just gonna continue on down the list. Next I'm going to read about Frigga, I believe is how it's pronounced. Frigga. Frigga. So we're just gonna go ahead and get going with this. I'm really excited. I feel like we're gonna learn some more about some of the gods, but yeah, like I did last time, I'm just gonna read. Hang on. I wrote down what pages exactly I wanted to read. Alright, let's get started. The Queen of the Gods. Frigga, or Frigg, daughter of Fjorgyn and sister of Jord, according to some mythologists, is considered by others as a daughter of Jord and Odin, whom she eventually married. This wedding caused such general rejoicing in Asgard, where the goddess was greatly beloved, that ever after it was customary to celebrate its anniversary with feast and song, and the goddess being declared patroness of marriage, her health was always proposed with that of Odin and Thor as wedding feasts. Frigga was goddess of the atmosphere, or rather of the clouds, and as such was represented as wearing either snow white or dark garments. According to her somewhat variable moods, she was queen of the gods, and she alone had the privilege of sitting on the throne Hilgeskalf. That was a place in the last one, Hildiskalf, I believe that's how it's said, beside her august husband. From thence she too could look over all the world and see what was happening, and according to the belief of our ancestors, she possessed the knowledge of the future, which, however, no one could ever prevail upon her to reveal, thus proving that the northern woman could keep a secret inviolate. And then there's a little... Of me the gods are sprung, and all that is to come I know but lock in my own breast, and I have to none revealed. She was generally represented as a tall, beautiful, and stately woman, crowned with heron plumes, the symbol of silence or forgetfulness, and clothed in pure white robes, secured at the waist by a golden girdle, from which hung a bunch of keys, the distinctive sign of the northern housewife, whose special patroness she was said to be. Although she had often appeared beside her husband, Frigga preferred to remain in her own palace, called Fenslayer, Hall of Mists, or of the sea, where she diligently piled her wheel or distaff, spinning golden thread or weaving long webs of bright colored clouds. In order to perform this work, she made use of a marvelous jeweled spinning wheel, which at night shone brightly in the sky as a constellation, known in the north as Frigga's spinning wheel, while the inhabitants of the south called the same stars Orion's girdle. To her fall, Fenslayer, gracious goddess, invited husbands and wives who had led virtuous lives on earth, so that they might enjoy each other's companionship even after death, and never be called upon to part again. There in Glen Fenslayer stands the house of Frey, honored mothers of gods, and shows its lighted windows and the open doors. Frigga was therefore considered the goddess of conjugal and motherly love, and was specially worshipped by married lovers and tender partners. This exalted office did not entirely absorb her thoughts, however, for we are told that she was very fond of dress, and whenever she appeared before the assembled gods, her attire was rich and becoming, and her jewels chosen with much taste. The stolen gold. Frigga's love of adornment once led her sadly astray, for in her longing to possess some new ornament, she secretly purloined a piece of gold from a statue representing her husband, which had just been placed in his temple. The stolen metal was entrusted to the dwarves, and the instructions to fashion a marvelous necklace for her use. This, when finished, was so resplendent that it greatly enhanced her charms and even increased Odin's love for her. But when he discovered the theft of the gold, he angrily summoned the dwarves and bade them to reveal who had dared to touch his statue. Unwilling to betray the queen of the gods, the dwarves remained obediently silent, and seeing that no information could be elicited from them, Odin commanded that the statue should be placed above the temple gate and set to work to devise runes which should endow it with the power of speech and enable it to denounce the thief. When Frigga heard these tidings, she trembled with fear, and implored her favorite attendant Fiola to invent some means of protecting her from the All-Father's wrath. Fiola, who was ready to serve her mistress, immediately departed and soon returned accompanied by a hideous dwarf who promised to prevent the statue from speaking if Frigga would only agree to smile graciously upon him. This boon having been granted, the dwarf hastened off to the temple, caused a deep sleep to fall upon the guards, and while they were thus unconscious, pulled the statue from its pedestal and broke it to pieces, so that it could never betray Frigga's theft. In spite of all Odin's efforts to give it the power of speech, Odin discovered this sacrilege on the morrow, was very angry indeed, so angry that he left Asgard and utterly disappeared, carrying away with him all the blessings which he had been wont to shower upon gods and men. According to some authorities, his brothers, as we have already seen, took advantage of his absence to assume his form and secure possession of his throne and wife, but although they looked exactly like him, they could not restore the lost blessings, and allowed the ice giants, or Giantis, to invade the earth, bind it fast in their cold fetters. These wicked giants pinched the leaves and buds till they all shriveled up, stippled the trees bare, shroud the earth in a great white coverlet, and veiled it in the impenetrable mists. But at the end of the 7 weary months, the true Odin relented and returned. And when he saw that the evil had been done, he drove the usurpers away, forced the frost giants to relax their grip of the earth, and to release her from her icy bonds, and again showered all his blessings down upon her, cheering her with the light of his smile. Alrighty, and that was Frigga. It was interesting. I still feel a little bit lost. Learn a little bit more about her, hopefully. And I'm dyslexic, so this is kind of like, still a practice run for me. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day, night, or evening. Peace out.